everyone! In this video we're going to have a short discussions about how subjective the reviews are, which are the reviews we can trust the most, and which are the reviews it might be better to avoid, and just talking about ratings and books a bit, okay? Let's start. Today I was planning to make a different kind of video, a video where I'm reading the one-star reviews of popular books, which is kind of a trend here on BookTube, but I gave up this because those one-star reviews, most of them are kind of rants of people who just stumbled upon the wrong book, and they seem to say like, oh, this was recommended to me, but it's nothing like what I expected, it's boring, it's blah blah blah. So it feels like they just stumbled upon the wrong book. This, for example, happened a lot when romantasy became popular. At first it was advertised as fantasy, and a lot of fantasy fans bought books thinking they will have, you know, the typical fantasy storylines, and then they ended up with some romantic plot line that took over everything, and they were like, oh, what's that? That's not what I like, and they would give it 1 star, 2 star, because it just was the wrong book for them. So I feel like 1-star reviews are very biased and they're so unrelatable, and you can just read them if you want to laugh a bit or get annoyed, but I gave up because I was like, why should I accumulate negative emotions and be annoyed at people? For example, there was this one guy said like he loved Lord of the Rings movies, but he started to read the book and he didn't like it, and he came with the wrong expectations, right? But the same bias I think applies to 5-star reviews, because 5-star reviews are usually written by fans, the target audience, right? For example, romantasy books might have 5-star reviews by people who absolutely love the main guy was so attractive and the love story was so cool, and they were so excited about all the emotions and they gave it a 5-star, but actually the book lacks in different areas, so the book is not perfect, but they enjoyed it, they loved it, it was made for them, right? I mean, no book is perfect, you know, a lot of books are flawed because people are flawed, authors are flawed. It's normal that books might have problems, they might have plot holes, pacing issues, and still you can love them. You know, you can overlook the small issues because you like because you like the story as a whole, right? So when you read 5-star reviews, you might get hyped up. You can say, oh, this book is so great, everybody says so great, and that can give you the wrong expectations. You can be so disappointed. If you want to find a reliable opinion about books, don't read 1 or 5-star reviews, read 3 stars and 4 stars, because I feel like 3 and 4 stars are more objective. They can give you a better idea of the book, because those are usually left by people who did read the book, who didn't DNF it, especially 4-star, I think, but who are not blinded by some kind of a strong emotion and are more objective, and they can give you a more objective review, and then you can have a more clear expectations, you know. And maybe you see a 3-star review and somebody is saying, oh, this book has too much romance, and you can say, oh, but I like that, so maybe this is for me. Or this story has too much fighting, but this is something you like. But my point is that 3 and 4 stars will point out more about the story, about the story structure, about the story's strength and weaknesses than a 5-star review. 5-star review will rarely give you some good information. It will be mostly like, oh, this is the best book in the world. Mostly, of course, all reviews are different. That made me think about how subjective reviews are, because I have this channel, right? And I've been thinking, shall I develop some rating system? Shall I rate books? But every time I'm thinking about it, I feel like rating a book is so unfair, and books are so different. For example, right now I'm reading this book, right? Look at this book. This book is enormous. There is so much work put into this book, right? And then there is this book, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. Sorry, I don't have the English version. This book is okay. You know, this book is short, sweet, cool adventure, but it's just more simple story, you know. I mean, compare the size of it, and this is a series, so just the complexity, the originality of this book makes me want to give it a higher rating. But it's gonna be unfair because this book is good for what it is. I think I can give this book 4 or 5 stars. But then if I give this book again 4 or 5 stars, I put them on the same level. That's very tricky, you know. They're both could be good books, but just different genres, different styles. And sometimes people have some prejudice towards certain genres. Some people will say that fantasy romance, they might think it deserves more praise than contemporary romance just because it's a fantasy world. But that's not fair, you know. So I fail at any rating system because I want to acknowledge that this book has a lot of originality and complexity in it, but I don't want to undermine that this book is also nice and it's also a cool fantasy world. It's just a smaller story, you know. So these ratings always bug me. It feels they're so unfair and it's so subjective. And I've seen people on Goodreads sometimes do the following: oh, this is a great book, 3 stars. Why is it 3 stars? And I feel like people give some books 3 stars because they're just more simple. Like they would give this book a 3 star just because it's not so complicated as other epic fantasy books, and that's so unfair. So when we check ratings, sometimes you can come across this phenomenon, like somebody said this is a good book and then they give it 3 or 4 stars just because its genre or its content, it's not complicated enough for them, it's not, I don't know, serious enough for them. For example, books that are more young adult or that have simpler storylines might automatically get less stars, and that's so unfair. It's really so unfair. So if you keep that in mind, that 3 and 4 stars could be unfair because of the genre even, or just the type of story, then how can you know? You can never know. You can never know. I feel like nowadays people just like to hype up books just so that they have something to talk about. I always see either people are ranting and hating on something, or they praise it. It just has to have like very big emotion, like this is the best book ever or this is the worst book ever, because I guess this gets the most views and attention, right? And that creates super high expectations for some book, creates bad press for other books. I'm gonna give you an example for Akotar, which I haven't read, and the first time I heard about it was from a video that was talking about how silly the story is or how it's focused on smut and stuff like that. So I got a very wrong impression about this. I thought it's not gonna be for me. But then I saw other comments on it that were the opposite, that said, oh no, this is actually high fantasy. The plot is kind of interesting. So right now I don't know what to believe. Like, reviews are so polarizing, and that is so confusing to know who to trust. And the only way you can, I don't know, find a reliable way to get your reviews is perhaps to find people with similar taste to you. But then I feel like even people with similar taste can sometimes have different opinions. Like me and my friend might like one book and then not another, you know, it's so different. So it's very easy to get caught in this hype and to try to buy all these books everybody is recommending. Like, for example, even I got so many books, I bought so many books because everybody was talking about them, and then I had to stop and see that, okay, maybe I should just be more careful, more selective, because it's really hard to know what is good and what is not. So I started to read more 3-star reviews, try to think more before buying. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this a bit, about how biased reviews are and how much we are led by extremes, like people hating on something or people praising something. Information is so overwhelming, and I realized that I should like put my expectations in check. And now I approach books with a bit more, how to say, not doubt, but I when I start to read a new book, I am not expecting it to be all that awesome. I put my expectation kind of in the middle, because I feel like too much negative press, so to say, can influence the way I see things. For example, even Fourth Wing, people are either hate it or love it, which is usually what happens with popular media. There's a lot of haters coming along. And right now, I really don't know if I'm going to like this book or not. So the only way I can know is to read it, to try it. So then all those reviews, all those suggestions, all those becomes a bit unreliable, and I start to feel a bit lost. A few times I was very hyped for books, and then I realized that maybe this book is not for me. I'm trying to select books more selectively. What do you do before you buy a book? What is the thing that compels you to buy a book? Is it that somebody recommends it? Is it the cover, the summary, the reviews? Do you check reviews? Do you write reviews? Do you think reviews are useful? That's it for today. I will post new videos soon again. You can check my channel for other reviews and discussions and stuff like that. Bye bye.